So I just got up north yesterday and unpacked, did all that nice stuff, but I didn't really put everything where it was supposed to go. So now the plan is going to be to put some of the things away, and that's going to be some paint that I have. I'm going to be putting it over here. I really want to reorganize this paint area and make it like have a little more of a system, but I don't think I have time for that. Realistically, I have a fair bit to do, a fair bit that I want to do. Firstly, I want to work on the fab table and getting it ready for paint and doing everything to where all I gotta do is paint basically. Then I have the sign, the property sign, and then from there I have sorting chemicals with whatever over here, basically paint, other chemicals. So yep, I have those, and then some other things that my grandma gave me as well. So we got a fair bit to do, and I'm gonna just get to it. Okay, so I cleaned it up pretty good. Let's take a quick tour. Don't look at that part. All right, let's take a quick tour. So, cleaned it up some. I put some of the sealer in the back, and then starting fluid up front. I put blaster on the right, anything rust removal as well. And then I have some cylinder oil as well. So like 2-cylinder over there. You see there's a 4-cylinder in back, and then there's 3, I think. No, maybe it's it's just motor oil in back. And then I put like paint stuff and like cleaning spirits in here. So you have some of the chemicals I brought up here. Brush cleaner. We're gonna be painting with brushes and stuff, right? So I want to be able to clean those brushes and not need to buy new ones every single time. Acetone, pretty explanatory. If I'm gonna be spray painting with gallons, I need to find some sort of way to thin the paint, especially for primer. And acetone is normally your go-to, so I'll need acetone. Paint thinner, pretty explanatory as well. You need to thin your paint. So I bought those 4 specifically for painting. I bought those 3 specifically for painting. And then, of course, mineral spirits for cleaning whatever things we have that have rust on them. Speaking of rust removal and lubrication, we have WD-40 in back as well. So, yep, I got those too. So now we no longer need to concern ourselves with worrying about that. Eventually I want to have a small little paint shop, paint spot up here, which is why we have so much paint, right? So much paint. More paint. And more paint. So, that's the idea behind that. And now, let's take a quick look at the other one here that I cleaned out as well. This one is a little bit more disorganized, has a lot of random things in it. But I'm not sure what we use, what we don't use, just because I recently have started taking a bigger step and a bigger hand in up north. So most of this, my dad is the guy who would know if it's worth keeping or not. Most of it probably is, just because we're not up here a ton. When we do need it, we would probably want it nearby. So anyways, I put paint on the far right so that it's organized and I know where it's all at. And then I organize it some based on color and based on type as well. So I try to keep certain types with, you know, the type that it is, and then I like kept all the high heat stuff together, which you can see right here, right? All the high heat stuff. And then there's some DOT4, some other things. On the very left, you drop down and it's basically bug removal stuff, power steering fluid, and then PVC primer, and then your adhesive for it. And then you got car wash stuff on the right side, or anything to do with like cars. Motor oil on the far left side, and after that it gets to be pretty random. So, yep. And that's basically the first part of my day. So I did that, which means, oh yeah, and when I did that, I actually found a jack. So I gotta figure out if it's even worth my time to see if it's worth keeping or if we just toss it. And then of course I found this, which is nice because at work I'm debating getting a chalk line. I don't know why I would need it, saying I'm gonna be going to the union, but still debating it some. It's nice to have chalk, or I might just give it to one of my coworkers, to be honest. Maybe they'll use it more than I will. But yeah, some blue chalk, so I can have a chalk line. And guess what? If I get red and I get blue, I can make purple. One of my favorite colors. All right, anyways, with that being said, I think we shift gears and we move on to the table right now and clean it off and get working on it. I'll break down kind of what I'm thinking a little bit more after I clean it up, okay? All right, so here's where we stand. Table. Previously, a while ago, coming up to a year ago, we acquired this table from my cousin. He wasn't really using it for anything, and so he offered it up to us because we were looking for some sort of fabrication table that we can use, right? So this works pretty well. Saying that it's free. So anyways, we got the table. It used to be about this high, which I'm not gonna fab on the ground. So instead what we decided to do is we decided to get a, how do you say, an extension. So we got a piece. I cut the 4 corners. We put in the extension pieces and then we welded them in. That was a while ago. We welded in here, the sides, the back some, and then here underneath, maybe a tack or 2 in the back here. It doesn't need to be fully welded. It's not like we're doing insane projects on this. So, because the top isn't really like that thick, so it's not like we can do crazy projects on this. But it's not like we're gonna be doing that. So it'll fit its purpose, right? So anyways, after doing all that, we wanted to put a vise in. So we decided that we're gonna put the vise in probably here where there's this hole, because then it covers it up. It looks nice, right? But the issue is structural integrity. There's not really any structure here because with this hole being here, you're kind of compromised on structure. So we decided to put in a piece of angle underneath and welded it in. And actually you can kind of see where there's some penetration, right? Maybe a little too much penetration. Rest in peace. So now I got to redraw out these holes. These holes were drilled out by one of my friends before, but now I just got to drill it out again. And then we'll put a bolt and nut for the vise to come in and sit right here. Outside of that, your vise will work good right here. It's in a corner. Normally you put a vise in a corner, keeps it away from your project traditionally, and doesn't get in the way. So this works out perfectly, covers up a hole. You got the piece of angle for support. But the whole idea behind this table, to explain it quickly, is we're gonna have the top be cleaned off, the paint be stripped away, and for it to be bare metal. One day maybe I want to oxidize it, just the top. We'll see, depending on how much money like a black oxide is or other oxides are. I might do it earlier or I might do it later. I might not do it at all, realistically. But with that being said, that's what the top looks like, and then you have your vise. Now our vise is like a a blue with some gray, blue with some rust. So we need to clean it up and make it look better. So we're gonna paint it actually a similar gray to the cabinets, which we're keeping with theme if you notice. So we're probably gonna paint the table what? Red. So we're painting everything else on the table red except the diamond plate. The diamond plate will stay the color it is, and the diamond plate will be mounted on the bottom. Right now it's not mounted, it's just laying there because we have to do notches because of the legs. Something we did account for when we cut all of them. We did account for the fact we had to do notches as well. So we got the outline for where we're gonna put the notches. We're gonna put the notches today, drill the holes in the channel, and then from there, the table is basically ready. I gotta clean off the top, and yeah, from there, it'll be about ready for paint. But one thing I wanted to detail is when you have a bare metal top, there's like 2 ways traditionally to keep your top from getting rust. And one of them is oil, right? I wouldn't recommend this on a fabrication table saying that sparks go everywhere. The likely chance you set a fire is pretty high. So instead of doing that, what we use is anti-spray. So like anti-spatter, you can use the gel or you can use the spray. It doesn't matter realistically. But use something like this. Really handy for bare metal because it's made for welding, but it also makes sure that any sparks that come out, any BBs, don't get on the table or have a less likely chance of getting stuck to the table. It does that, it prevents rust, and it won't set on fire. Those are a lot of positives, especially the last one. So once we're done cleaning it and it's bare metal, we're gonna spray it, or at least we're gonna wipe it down with anti-spray. And that's how you're gonna keep it from rusting. That's a big tip. And if it's oxidized as well, it also won't rust. So then you don't have to put this on as consistently. But anyways, you are able to cut aluminum with, at least aluminum diamond plate, with many other tools. I have personally found that the circular saw is the quickest and most consistent and reliable. I saw one of my coworkers attempt to do it with their Sawzall. They do everything with their Sawzall though, like everything. And he did a pretty good job, but his blade was absolutely toast afterwards. So maybe don't do it that way. But now that the blade is on, we're gonna fire up our saw and get to cooking. Another thing I suggest, please wear a face shield. These aluminum sharp bits shoot absolutely everywhere and have no escape. So now, we're gonna drill the holes. So now the holes are done, and I guess the next step in the diamond plate would be bringing it to the bottom and doing the holes below. Okay, so before I do the last one, I want to explain something I've been doing. I've recently, ever since the first few holes, I started using tap oil. Now, the reason why is because this drill bit is very sharp, it's very new, and when you have sharp drill bits, when they're drilling through and you get to the very end, sometimes they'll pull a really big burr, and the drill can't get past it and it gets stuck, right? You saw that at the start when I was drilling over there. So, something that can help you out a lot is tap oil. Tap oil can make it a little bit easier for the drill to get through that last burr. And I don't fully know exactly how it works, but I do know that tap oil helps with that. So, tap oil has made these holes a lot easier and I haven't gotten stuck as much. So, it's been handy. Yeah, obviously you use it for tapping, but tap oil works really well for drill bits too, depending on what size you're using and how sharp, how new they are. So, yep. So I'm gonna do this last one, and then technically I'm done with the bottom half because I don't have to install that diamond plate until after they're done painting. So I'll do that then. But right now, that means that after we're done with this, we have the holes to do up here. There's 2. And I'll talk more about that when we get there. Let's just wrap up these last few holes. So, when you're drilling out big holes, you're gonna have to use multiple drill bits. Only time you are able to not do this is with a drill press or a machine. But we don't have a drill press up here yet, so therefore that means we are forced to do all this the old-fashioned way. Drill with the pilot, a bigger pilot, and then get your last drill bit if you're a master in a way. So, that being said, we're going to select a pilot. So now, a big thing is drill bit selection. When you're selecting a pilot, you want it to be tiny. I don't know about this tiny, but you want it to be tiny. The reason being is if you can get a tiny drill bit, it's a good starter so that when your follow-up drill bit comes by, it's not going to be lost trying to find its way home. So I'm probably going to start with, that's crooked. Something about this big maybe. Honestly, I might start with the one I have on it right now, if it doesn't walk on me. Tap oil's handy, as I said previously. I'm not going to use it for the first one, I hope. Well, maybe. So, started, looks like it's pretty centered up. Started that one, also pretty centered up. I'm actually going to switch over to the smaller drill bit. So we opened them up by starting off with the small pilot drill bit. Now, post the pilot drill bit, you're going to go ahead and find something to step up to. Since I have this, I'll just step up to it real quick. You can step up as many times as you want if you want to be safe. And by step up, I mean you go from one size to a bigger size. Normally you try and go a fair bit bigger. So I'm probably gonna go, right now I'm at about a quarter of the thickness. I wanna go to probably 2/3 range, somewhere in there, normally. But I have this drill bit here, so I'm just gonna step it up to close to a half, maybe a little less, real quick, and then we'll continue from there. Step it up again. Alright, we're gonna step up a little bit aggressively. We'll see if this backfires. And the bigger you go, the slower you go. So with the small drill bit, you can have it at like a freaking 3, and you can just send it, right? And then you get to some moderately sized drill bits, you go to 2. This size is between 2 and a 1, roughly. I'm probably gonna run a 2 and then just go like half on it, and that should get me somewhere in there. All right, but I'm not gonna drop to, I could drop to a 1 for this, realistically, but I'm gonna kind of gauge it based on how the drill bit's acting and how I feel with it, because judging by how sharp it is, it might need to be changed over. So we did a good job. So if you notice, I dropped down to a 1, which I'm gonna have to run for this last one for sure. All right, here we go. It's not that much bigger, so realistically, it should be able to do this fine. The hole's finished. Woo, baby. Alrighty. After all that pain and suffering, the drill, I think, survived, and the holes are done. Thank goodness. Oh, but the fun doesn't stop there. We got more work, but at least the table is at a good spot. I think cleaning it off can be a different day. Next thing is these wood spools here. We have 2. We have one really big one. It's roughly like 36 tall, so it's pretty tall compared to the table. And then we have the other one, which is a little lower than the table, and that's 20, 22, 20, 24, something like that. So we got to move these to the treehouse. So yeah, I'm probably gonna put them on top of each other. So the small one goes on top of the big one, and then the big one will kind of sit how it is, but with cinder blocks underneath it to make sure no rain can like rot it or anything crazy. I might put the pallet on top of that. And then this, my friend said he wanted it, but I don't know, it looks like there's some critters that are trying to make it their home. So we'll see how good of wood it really is. But especially now, I don't think it's any good any now. Or anymore any now. Anyways. So I think that's probably firewood, to be honest. So this is the area of the treehouse right now. We're underneath it. It's not that big realistically. We want to eventually have this be a project too, where we revamp the treehouse and fix it up. So the spools are gonna go probably where that table's at. Just roll right in here and drop right in where that speaker's at. Right there. Yeah, we got a little lucky though. There was a tree that was right there, and it actually went the opposite direction. Instead of going towards the treehouse, it went away. It pulled out some of the paneling with it too, as you see, but not much we can do about that. We also have this massive pallet here, which I'm still debating what I want to do with. Anyways, and then if you want to, we can go up top. been a long time since we've actually used it. So there used to be what we consider to be chairs, and then you got your walls kind of that are around it, which are from a shed I had when I was younger that fell apart. I took some pieces and used them. So yeah. Eventually we'll start to revamp this and start to make it into something actually. I like the idea. I like the idea of actually expanding it too. I'm not sure in what way though, because there aren't many big tree houses. I'd have to make some sort of bridge to come across to another tree house or something. Be kind of cool. I want to try that. Anyways, so let's bring the spools, move this stuff out of the way, and get done with this, and we'll eat lunch. Okay, so slight news update. As you can see, I have the Voluptuous log splitter and the 4-wheeler out here. We're trying to clear out some things and pull the stuff out that we no longer need to store in here because it's not winter time anymore. This is one of them. The smoker's the other one. So we're working on that right now. So we're about to pull them both out. First, starting with the log splitter. It's on the trailer, or on the 4-wheeler. This guy is a 2-inch ball, so it's not gonna fit on the 4-wheeler, unfortunately. But anyways, with that being said, we're trying to clear out that backspace where the dirt bike is and the other dirt bike and even the other one over there, so that we can put a ladder up there so we can start figuring out what stuff is up there that's actually worth keeping and what stuff's actually trash. I figured this would be a good time to do it because then whatever stuff that we have that's overflow, next time we come up, we actually have a spot that we can put it temporarily. So after that, I'm gonna go into planning what's gonna be happening post-August. So I'm gonna get this done, eat, talk to my friend, talk about some ideas with him, and then we'll get to that second video, or third video? Whatever we're on. It's been a lot, but we're almost there. So I'll show y'all once it's done. Peace. All right, here we go. Trailer out. Log splitter gone. Tractor gone. Well, not exactly, it's gonna come back here, but anyways, it's temporarily gone. And then we worked on the upper shelf. We took some things out, moved some boxes around, and figured out what was trash, and moved some things up there too as well, including those chairs there. So yeah, that's what we did. We're finishing up. We're pulling everything that's outside back inside the pole barn, and then we'll be wrapping up for the day. I can't wait to eat. All right, today we just finished up packing and we're about to get going here. So we got a fair bit done for just coming up, basically doing one full day of work, and exclusively working on that, we got a lot done. So I'm actually happy with what we did. Yeah, so we did some things on the fab table. We did some sorting of cabinets. We did the spools, and then we cleaned out some things up top, as well as the trailers. We pulled the trailers out, so we got a lot done. Yeah, so we're in a good spot right now, to be honest. Side projects are looking good, and after this video, we're gonna post the next video, which is gonna be talking about what the plan is after August. So I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that's kind of how we sit right now. So I'll keep y'all posted on any updates. Like actually keep you posted instead of just ghosting. But to be honest with you, the impact that like had on me, the fact that the Sea Container project would not work was it was a lot. And so it took me a while to finally get back on my feet and be like, all right, let me tackle another project. Because I planned a lot and thought about a lot and considered so many problems, options, and things that I normally would never tackle, but I tackled them anyways. And now hearing that all of that was for nothing was kind of devastating. And it took me a while to realize that I can't get my purpose from a project that has the chance to change so much. I have to get my purpose from something else, somewhere else. Allergies are crazy right now. So I'm actually going to work on that as an individual, but to be honest with you, that's kind of why I'm taking more of a back seat on this, and I'll kind of go through the steps and the things I did to plan the Sea Container project, but for whatever the project's going to be after August. So I have an idea, and we'll see where that takes me. Peace.